the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Trustee Malvesto is excused. Clerk Eric Ranko plans to be here later this evening, but we do have a quorum. We can conduct business as scheduled. Let's see. Start with, we have two presentations tonight. The first one, I'd like to introduce Mr. Cliff St. Pierre on behalf of Greenways Open Space. Cliff. So you brought reinforcements.
I thought we'd have bring a little youth to the presentation. We're here this evening to recognize and to honor Wally Posiask for his dedication to both the Open Space Committee and to the Bike Path Committee. And I'd like to introduce Brian. Go ahead.
Wally, I just want to say it's been great working with you over these years. You put your heart and soul into this with events such as, the Barradour, the Walk the Path, streamlining things with the fountain, getting our paths in order as far as the asphalt as well as the bridge work. We couldn't have done it without you, and we're glad that you've been a part of our commission all these years. So thank you.
We're not finished yet, Wally.
Somehow I suspected different.
If you could come over here for just a minute, if you would.
You promise not to kiss me.
I don't know whether this will work or not. We'll try it. Can we get this on the...
It should work.
Okay.
All right.
We have two certificates of service to give you, Wally. This one is from the Open Space Committee, and I'll read it. For his leadership, counsel, and guidance as liaison from the Open Space Committee to the Township Board, and his continual support of the Open Space Program, this certificate is presented to Wally Posiak in recognition of your contributions, Wally. Ryan?
What we have here is our 2016 Walk and Roll Award. What we have here is our 2016 Walk and Roll Award for our first Walk Star, Wally Posiak. So it says the Groseal Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission is pleased to recognize Wally Posiak for a Walk and Roll Award. Through years of inspiration and perspiration, I had to borrow the words, love him. Mr. Posiak has helped make Groseal a safer and more attractive place to walk and bike. Signed our fellow commissioners.
Thank you. No hands for you. No hugs for you.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Wally.
That is so sweet. I don't know what to say.
You wanted us to team up and have a meeting. We did it.
I've been after him for years. Get together. You got a lot in common. Look what happens. They ran me out of town. See?
Thanks, Cliff. Our next presentation is Keep Michigan Beautiful. It's coordinated by Pam Frucci, but are you going to pick up? Mrs. Gimple.
I'm here. Good evening. I'm Colleen Gimple, and I'm here on behalf of the Keep Michigan Beautiful Association. Pam Frucci, who's not here, is also a member of Keep Michigan Beautiful, and she nominated Mr. Cordes for his restoration and beautification of the Pilot House. So I would like to read her nomination, which was read at the Keep Michigan Beautiful annual awards program held at the Radisson Hotel in Kalamazoo back in October, just a couple weeks ago. So this is what Mrs. Frucci wrote. The Pilot House at the Groseal Municipal Airport has a history going back to when the U.S. Navy operated the Naval Air Station from the 1930s until they closed it down in 1969. During World War II, it served to train American and British pilots since training in England was too dangerous. The pilot house was the old officers' club during the war, and it is presently leased to Jim Cordes, who is devoted to keeping it looking good. Jim took over operating the pilot house in 2007 and has turned it into a small hotel with 12 rooms. It is only one of 2 places to stay on Grosse Ile overnight. The front porch and windows have been replaced, and the signage has been redone. The community has reacted wonderfully to the ongoing restoration of the former Officer Club, now renamed the Pilot House. Business has picked up over the years, and their guest rooms are often booked for reunions and weddings held in the former banquet hall. Jim and his fiancée are the only ones working on it presently. He says it is a never-ending project to keep an old building looking as nice as possible. So Mr. Cordes received this award that I put up here. It's an award of merit, which I would like to present to him tonight and thank him for making Grosse Ile a more beautiful place.
You got to get up, Jim.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim, for
Thank you.
just keeping that little bit of history going.
Okay, and then there's one more thing, the Island Beautification Awards. Okay. So this is the second year that the Island Beautification Committee is honoring Grosse Ile businesses for their efforts in keeping their premises litter-free and beautified with plants and flowers. To receive an award decal, businesses must receive a score in the good or outstanding classification by the members of the Beautification Committee. We are pleased to award the following businesses with the Beautification Award decal. Let me get the stack out here. Okay, Island Medical Practice. Is anybody here from there? Morris Family Dentistry. No. B&G Thai Restaurant. Kathy's Cafe. MBA Realty. Lloyd's Bar. That's another story. GI Pet and Garden Center. Perdino's Restaurant. Century 21 River Point. Bank of America. Building Blocks Child Care. Victorian Place. Bishop's Cottage. Petting on the Ritz. Grosse Ile Massage. Grosse Ile Hair Studio. Genesis Financial Group. D. James Barton Law Office. Baird and Lowler Building Company. State Farm Insurance. Hawthorne Vine. Island Realty. Speed Sport LLC. I don't know if I'm saying this right or not. Zubke Plumbing. Okay. Elder Care Home Care Group. Slats Enterprises. Carol Bolo and Associates. Island Woods Senior Housing. Bicycle Museum. Mr. Car Wash. Save on Drugs. Lifelong Family Dentistry. And Orthosport. Oh, none. Okay. We will make sure that these people, well, just to show you what it looks like real quick.
Yeah, please.
That's the award. So you'll see businesses in the area that have those. Some of them had gotten them last year, and then this is the second year. So we'll make sure that we get these awards out to these recipients. And
Sorry we scared everyone away, but thank you, Mrs. Gimple. And thanks to all the businesses who keep Macomb Street looking nice. And we're going to get a little more information on Macomb Street later tonight if I can keep Angela here. Let's see. At this point, that'll conclude our presentations. With this, entertain additions or deletions to tonight's agenda. All right.
Mr. Supervisor?
Mr. Budney.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion for deletion of action item number 8, the cancellation of the November 28th meeting.
Support.
Although, reading the history behind it, it would in normal course of business make some sense, but I believe we should have the meeting for two reasons. One, it's the meeting of the new board. It's not this board's meeting. And also, I believe since the people of Groseal elected the new board, they should come before the people as quickly as possible. And if there isn't a lot of business to be done, then our meeting could be very short, and we can have the study session that you suggested after the meeting rather than before. And I think that would work out. But I believe that that we should have the meeting and introduce the new board members.
Okay, we have no business on the agenda. Our consent agenda pays the bills through the December meeting. I don't.
Well, that's
need for the business meeting when we have no business.
Well.
Oh, yeah, your intent is to introduce, and certainly the study session will be an open.
Right.
It is a meeting. It's a special meeting, but it's not a business meeting.
Right. Correct. And I think we should have that study session. I think what you had put in there would be a good idea to discuss. How we're going to organize what we're going to do as a new board, but I believe there will be an action item that it could wait until December, but it can also come up to in November 28th. As far as, and it's merely putting someone on a commission, but that's my thoughts for wanting to delete that item.
All right, we got here in record time. Safe and sound. We're discussing the cancellation of the business meeting for converting it to as the agenda states, to make it a study session rather than a business meeting. Mr. Budney wants to remove that item and leave it as a business meeting. Thus far, we've considered we have no business, and the consent agenda extends through the December board meeting. So we have no action items. We have Mr. Treasurer.
I believe this was a published meeting that we did at the beginning of the year. And if any of the board members feel that this meeting should not be canceled, I would be in support of that. I understand that there's probably no business to be done. If any of the board members feel this meeting should be conducted, I'll support that.
Yeah, so my take on this is kind of similar. It's a regular scheduled meeting. The board can meet and very quickly, if there's no agenda items, adjourn if they wish to do so and do a study session or whatever they need to at that point in time. But I'm fine keeping this as keeping the meeting as scheduled.
Other comments? All right, those in favor of removing action item 8 from the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's that will be removed. Any other additions, deletions to the agenda? Okay, with none offered, those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the agenda stands as amended. With that, we'll step to open it for a brief public comment on agenda items. All right, I see no hands coming up, so with that, we'll move on to consent agenda, and Mr. Budney's going to bail out Treasurer again.
I'm going to do my best Ted voice. Yeah. Motion to approve consent agenda 16-060, which includes the minutes of the October 24th, 2016 regular meeting, approval of the check register through November 11th, 2016, and approval to process and distribute payments through December 2nd, 2016.
Okay, moved by Trustee Budney, seconded by Treasurer Vanos. Any discussion among the board on the consent agenda? None offered. Those in favor of approving the consent agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The consent agenda stands approved. Move to action item number 1. Mr. Budney.
Yes. This is a motion based upon the recommendation of the DPS Commission to enter into an agreement with Wayne County for priority winter maintenance service to the following local roads for the 2016-2017 winter snow season, with the township and the county each sharing in half the cost. The roads involved, and I will try and go through this quickly, is Bellevue Road from Meridian Road to East River, Church Road from East River Road to West River Road, Ferry Road from East River Road to West River Road, Grays Drive, Meridian to East River, Horse Mill Road, Meridian to East River, Lions Drive, Macomb to Grays Drive, Manchester Road, East River to Meridian Road, Bridge Road to Park Lane, Park Lane, Bridge Road to Church, Park Lane, Church Road to Oak River, and Park Lane, Ferry Road to Bellevue Road, and South Point Grow to Albemarle Road. The township share in the cost for 2016-2017 season is $23,085.34 for 21.40 lane miles of roadway, which equates to $1,078.75 per lane mile.
Support.
Okay, moved by Trustee Budney, seconded by Trustee Smith.
This
No, go ahead. You've got the cost
the history.
comparisons.
We've been doing this for 20 some odd years, and this gives us Wayne County gives us priority on our snow removal. They get out as quickly as they can to hit these various roads. And a lot of these roads are either with the school or on the school route, and are the main connector roads to our main roads. And so the amount is normally based on last year's cost. That's how they always figure it, and we split it 50-50 with Wayne County.
Yeah, last year was pretty quiet until, the February hit, and then guess what? It was winter in Michigan again.
Yeah.
Chief Murdoch, you're the one who sees this first, other than the police on patrols. You've always, as I recall, you've pretty much supported this always in the past. The officers on patrol like it. And your wife being a bus driver is probably the one we're most concerned with for the school buses. So you've never considered, Chief, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, you certainly wanted to get the input from the first eyes on the scene when the snow hits. And go ahead, Chief.
Just so you know, we monitor that. Our road patrol monitors it every year. And what we found out is there was a couple of problems where people have called us and asked, and I know they've come to Dale also, that they didn't see the county out on Grosse Ile, and we paid all this money to get priority snow removal. I made a couple of phone calls, and the problem is not that they didn't come out to Grosse Ile. The problem is they didn't come out until a certain time. So they have been very good in the past. Since I've been the chief, we've been monitoring it. They've been very good in the past 7 years that we've been looking at it. The couple issues that we had last year were not because we paid and they just didn't come out. What they said was because they watched the weather report, so on and so forth. It wasn't the time to come out because it'd be a waste because more snow was just going to fall. And obviously, I'm not an expert at this. I don't know when you throw salt first, then you plow, then you salt, then who knows what you do. But the point was they weren't anywhere in Wayne County when we got the calls and wondering where these trucks were and that we had paid this extra money. So that wasn't the issue. And again, they've been out. They get out pretty quick. There are 2 trucks assigned to Grosse Ile. Not sure if you knew that, too. It was not just one. They do assign 2, and they do get those main roads cleared extremely quickly. I mean, it's a very good program. For the police department, we're out there all the time. For the fire department, they're out there on calls. I'm just, I guess I'm advocating for it, but what we see, it's absolutely worth it for us for that amount of money for what we get. And again, we cleared up at least the issue last year that they were waiting because of the extended snowfalls and how they go out first, and they have their, whatever their formula is. I'm not, again, I don't understand that, the fundamental aspect, but they didn't come out anywhere, and that's when the 2 complaints came in. So, but those are cleared up. So.
Thanks, Chief. Any other comments, questions from the board? All right, with none offered, those in favor of entering into an agreement with Wayne County for the priority winter maintenance services to the aforementioned road for the 2016-17 winter snow season. County and Township each sharing half the cost, and a total of $23,085.34 for 21.4 lane miles of roadway, equating to $1,078.75 per lane mile. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. That, well, keep an eye on them. All right, thanks, everyone.
Mr. Supervisor,
For Kranka.
I move to appoint Joe Dixon to the chairman of the Groseal Police Commission beginning November 20th, 2016, for 1-year calendar ending December 31st, 2017.
Support.
Okay, moved by Clerk Kranka, seconded by Trustee Budney.
So current chairperson is Carl Bletcher, who will now be serving on the Township Board after November 20th. And the Police Commission would like to install Joe Dixon as the new chairperson. So Joe joined us a number of years ago, and has been just a fantastic leadership. Has provided great leadership on the commission, and hopefully this board will see fit to put him as the chairperson.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Any other questions, comments from the board? All right, with none offered, those in favor of approving or the appointment of Joe Dixon to be chair of the Groseal Police Commission beginning November 20th, 2016 for 1 year calendar year. Looks like I wrote that. December 31st, 2017. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. Carry. Thank you. Let's see. This will be mine. Recommend the Groseal Township Board of Trustees approve Salam Durrani to be appointed to Board of Review to finish out the 2016 year and appointed for a period of 2 years, 2017 to 2019.
Support.
Okay, moved by the supervisor, seconded by Trustee Budney. Sam Durrani, our quick history. Sam Durrani has been a property owner, resident of Groseal for many years, retired member of the fire department. He was highly recommended when we first saw his application. All the current members of the Board of Review highly recommended him, wanted to bring him on board. So I'm bringing his application forward tonight. Questions, comments from the board? All right, with none offered, those in favor of bringing Salam Durrani appoint Salam Durrani to the Board of Review to finish out the 2016 year and be appointed for a period of 2 years from 2017 to 2019. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. Sam, thanks for volunteering. Move to action item number 4. I'll pick this one up. Go ahead, Jim.
All right. Proposed motion based upon the recommendation of the Community Rec Commission to approve the appointment of Elizabeth Frucci and Alisa Bonder to the Community Recreation Commission as student liaisons for the term through June of 2018.
Support.
Okay, moved by Trustee Budney, seconded by Trustee Smith. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm just going to read because the Community Rec Commission has one open position that we're currently trying to fill. A subcommittee was formed and interviewed 2 candidates. The subcommittee thought if we had 2 interested individuals that were excellent candidates, they were open to having both of them serve. The subcommittee brought that to the full commission to appoint. The full commission formally approved the nominations on November 2nd, 2016. The CRC is looking forward to working with both of the new members.
Okay, I believe these are advisory positions, not voting positions, so it wouldn't skew the outcome of anything. And I think it's good to get just on more points of view as to what we're offering in our rec programs. Other questions, comments from the board? Okay, with none offered, those in favor of, approving the appointment of Elizabeth Frucci and Alicia Bondard to the Community Recreation Commission as student liaisons for the term through June of 2018, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered? Thank you, ladies, for joining. Let's see. I'll introduce this one. Asking the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees to accept with regret the resignation of Recreation Director Brandy Boyd.
Support.
Okay, moved by the supervisor, seconded by Trustee Budney. Quick background. Brandy Boyd was hired in November 2014 to replace retiring Recreation Director Tim Rooney. In her short tenure, she made tremendous progress toward providing the residents of Grosse Ile Township with events, amenities, and programs that have added value to our quality of life. Ms. Boyd is leaving to accept a position with Oakland County Parks, a well-deserved opportunity for her to continue to excel. And we have I'll just read the certificate of appreciation that we previously awarded. Whereas Brandy Boyd has served as a township employee for over 2 years, and whereas Ms. Boyd has served as a recreation director, and whereas Ms. Boyd has accepted a position with the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Department, and therefore tendered a resignation to the Township of Grosse Ile, and whereas Ms. Boyd has represented the Township Grosse Ile in the most professional manner, and whereas the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees regretfully accepts the resignation of Ms. Brandy Boyd. Now, therefore, on this date, November 14, 2016, I, Brian Loftus, on behalf of the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees, do honor and thank Brandy Boyd for her commitment and dedication to Grosse Ile Township and our island community, signed by me. And there wasn't a dry eye in the room when we presented it a week or so ago. So, Brandy, good luck. Those, I guess, the business at hand, those in favor of accepting her resignation with regret, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Again, I'll thank you, Brandy. Mr. Posiask, if you would. Support.
Probably about a year. Was a great contributor during that year. She's got a busy schedule too, and decided that it would be better if she stepped off and made room for someone else. And that takes courage to do. And I'm going to miss her. Hope she misses me. That'll be one person, right?
Thanks, Wally. Questions, comments from the board? Okay, those in favor of accepting with regret the resignation of Mrs. Donna Deppa from the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission, effective December 31st, 2016, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. Donna, thank you. Okay, it's that time. And I'm going to ask the Board of Trustees to support me on recognizing our outgoing elected officials.
Support.
Okay, so motion by the supervisor, seconded by Trustee Budney. And elections do what they do. And we have presenting a certificate of appreciation, which I'll be honored to read. Whereas Trustee Walter Posiask, Clerk Eric Ranka, and Trustee Lawrence Smith have served on the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees, and whereas Trustee Walter Posiask, Clerk Eric Ranka, and Trustee Lawrence Smith have served in various committee and commission positions, and whereas Trustee Walter Posiask, Clerk Eric Ranka, and Trustee Lawrence Smith have provided tremendous insight and support to the township committees and commissions on which they served, and whereas Trustee Walter Posiask, Clerk Eric Ranka, Trustee Lawrence Smith worked tirelessly for our community, representing Township of Grosse Ile in the most dedicated manner, and whereas on behalf of the Township of Grosse Ile, the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees is thankful for their service to the community, and now therefore on this date, November 14, 2016, I, Brian Loftus, on behalf of the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees and the entire island community, do honor and thank Trustee Walter Posiask, Clerk Eric Ranka, and Trustee Lawrence Smith for their commitment and dedication to Grosse Ile Township. Those in favor of saying thanks and goodbye, or thanks and Will we work again? Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, we've moved 8, and well,
Applause? No applause for the 3 out?
I was going to have them display their. We did present each an individual certificate. Which you, Wally, go ahead and just. Well, I mean, we did give them something to take home tonight. So armed with that, we'll just let it go at that.
I thought it was a very nice gesture. Thank you.
Thanks.
I like the picture behind it too.
Yes. Very nice.
Okay, and this is for taxation purposes. It just, as Margie is filling in for Carol, resolved by the Grosse Ile Township Board of Trustees that there be levied on the taxable value of said township for the year 2016 revised winter billing a tax of 11.0686 mils on the taxable value thereof, said value being $580,539,121.
Support.
Okay, moved by the supervisor, seconded by trustee Budney. What this is since the bike path maintenance millage passed, we have to add it on to the winter tax. We have to send a new Form L4029 to the State Tax Commission. Well, actually, it goes through the county to the State Tax Commission to be on the winter tax roll. So this had to be done tonight. The latest it had to be to the printer by the 28th, so we did have to move this forward tonight. The short version is this will add, we use the average value, taxable value of a home at $125,000. This will add $1,875 per year to the average household. And get out and use the bike pass because you're paying for it and we're taking care of them. Questions, comments from the board?
2-1. Thank you, Grosse Ile.
Yeah, the voting was 2-1 in favor of the maintenance millage. Any other questions, comments from the board? None offered. Those in favor of adding, the levy on the taxable value of the township for the year 2016 revised winter tax billing, a total tax of 11.0686 mils on the taxable value of $580,539,121. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. That will be administratively handled. Eric and I have some signing to do. That concludes tonight's action items. Yep. Clerk's report.
Mr. Supervisor, in case no one was paying attention, we had a pretty major election here a week ago. It was for the school board on Grosse Ile, and the president and a few others as well. Some details about that election. So we've got 8,957 registered voters on the island. Of them, 7,096 cast ballots on Election Day. 4,289 of you in the 5 precincts across the island, and 2,807 of you in the absentee ballots, giving us a voter turnout of just shy of 80%, which is actually at 79.22%. So big thanks to everyone who came out and exercised their, in my opinion, civic duty to vote. The bike path, the local elections we had, the bike path millage did pass, 4,471 votes yes to 2,287 votes no. The school board for the 6-year term, Kelly Leffler with 2,471 will join office, and then Jeff Anderson with 1,890 will also join the office. And then for the 2-year term, John Gotti with 3,254 votes. So additional election results are available online at www.grosseile.com or at Wayne County, Michigan election results. And on behalf of Sharon Gray, Brian Field, and Brian Friel, I would like to thank all of the 50 election inspectors who worked and trained long hours to help make the local election run smoothly and extremely successfully.
They put in a long day.
But they put in a long day, and they've got a smile on their face at the beginning of the day at 5:45, and they've got a smile on their face at the end of the day at some of them at 9 o'clock, and some of them more like 12 or 1 o'clock, depending on what their positions are. So, since this is the final clerk's report, or my final clerk's report, I do have a couple thank yous that I would like to get out of the way. So, first of all, to the entire extended township staff, whether they're in this building, the rec department, or the public safety department, or the public safety building, we've got a fantastic extended township staff. I would like to especially thank the police department, and being able to serve as the liaison for the past 8 years has really opened my eyes to the tremendous asset that we have in this community with the police department. The community service, or the community-based policing that they give us, and the service that they give us as residents is second to none in any community I've seen before. So fantastic hats off to our police department. Of course, to the managers, Dale, Ann, Sharon, Lorinda, Brandy, although she's going to be leaving us, Chief Porcerelli, Chief Murdoch, and Mike Duker. Your staffs always treat our residents with respect, and they give the residents what they need, and that's a reflection of the leadership that you portray onto them. And then my dealings, it's always professional, prompt answers from everybody, honest answers, and just the way you treat the community and the way you treat the board is fantastic. Whether you agree with what we're doing or not, the service is great. A special thanks to Sharon, Brian, and Gail in the clerk's department, 3 true professionals. The elections run really smoothly on this island. In part, it's because we've got great election inspectors who come election after election and are the boots in the ground. But it's also very much about the planning and the pre-prep work that's done before. And to that, Sharon is just absolutely fantastic. Whenever I've got a worry bead a couple nights before, the next morning, Sharon, did you think about this? Oh yeah, we got that covered. The contingency is A, B, and C. I mean, just without fail, just fantastic. Of course, the township board. So it's been a good fun 4 years. We didn't agree on everything, but we respected each other. We came together. We did what we needed to do, and we got the job done. And there was no hard feelings from one meeting to the next. So I greatly appreciate the respect that the township board has shown for each other. Thanks to the residents for giving me the opportunity to serve, and for giving me feedback, whether it was in Kroger's, a different island venue, or in some cases in the op-ed section of the former Eel Camera. It wasn't my favorite venue, but it was better than no venue at all. But most importantly, to my wife Carrie and Andrew and Nicholas. So without them allowing me the time here, it would not have been possible. So a very heartfelt thank you to them. So as I bow out to spend more time with family and with career, I've got complete confidence in the new board. We've got a lot of returning experience, returning wisdom. And I know that the new board will do everything that it can to make this island continue to be as good as it is. So I sincerely think that Groseal is in good hands with the new township board. And I wish all of you success and understanding over the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. That's going to be tough to follow. Mr. I'm sorry, Jim, you're...
Yeah, that is. I'd like to say to Eric, Lauren, and Wally, it's been a pleasure. I've been at this for 8 years. This is one of the most concurrent and hardworking boards I've had the opportunity to work with. And I want to thank all of you guys a lot, because you've made my job a lot easier, as well as the rest of the seating board members. To get on with the treasurer's report, the bad news is the winter tax bills are being prepared, and they'll go out in December. Hooray. You'll get one more envelope from me. They'll be due February 14th. All of the individual details of our investments are online. Just go to groseal.com and go to my page, and you'll find where all of our money is listed. Mike, would you come up to the microphone a minute, please? First of all, I think we have a Commerce Park meeting on the 17th.
Next coming Monday, 21st.
21st, I'm sorry. And secondly, can you just give us a little update on the event we had last Saturday?
Sure. We had for some of you that came out, we had a small ribbon cutting event and kind of an open house for the general public on the island. Sorry, it was 2 Saturdays ago now, the 5th. To celebrate our new runway. It has been open for a little while, but we wanted to do some kind of formal event here to do that. I kind of got down early, bought some donuts and cider, welcome our guests. I think we had a great turnout. It was a little chilly morning, but as soon as it warmed up, I'd say we had between 200 and 250 people. I didn't get an exact count, but ran out of donuts and was lucky to be on her way down. It was nice enough to go run and buy some more. So I think it was a great turnout and beautiful day. You know, when we set the date in November, I'm like, oh, it's going to be rainy, snowy, 30s, but it was just around 60 and sunny, so we couldn't ask for a better day. But thank you for everyone that came out and participated in the event and got to see a little bit of the airport you might not get to see every day.
All right, thanks. We had that event primarily to open it up to the township. We spent $6 million, or the federal government spent $6 million on that runway. The Commerce Park Enterprise Zone contributed $350,000. None of that was tax money. It was all drive-through revenue. I want to thank Mike. I want to thank Brian. You did a great job. They cut the ribbon and nothing fell. So. Last but not least, Joe, could you come up to the mic a minute? I'm not trying to blindside you here, but I've received a number of complaints regarding the coyote issue on this island. I'm curious as to whether there's anything that is being done or slated to do to address this issue. Both residents walking early in the morning in and around the airport have seen several. I've got a couple of calls from residents that have had their pets attacked, even on their porches. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, is there anything slated, or is there anything we can do to address this issue?
We've had a program in place for approximately 2 years. First off, let me explain some of the education that we've had. Our animal control officer, Julie Cordes, works with a lot of different animal groups, and when she is with these groups, she has come up with a program to try and help people out to make it as safe as possible for them, what to do if you see these coyotes for your animals, so on and so forth. Half of it's education. The other half is a program that the police department has been involved in for almost 2 years now. That program is, and we have put it out to the people, if they do see the coyotes, if they're near the homes, if they are close to a residential area near the homes, to please call us. If we feel that that coyote is a danger or a threat, because they usually don't go near the homes to feed, and for some reason now they've been going in our subs as opposed to staying more in the open space and down here at the airport. I will tell you straight, there's, I guess, a time in life where you got to put your feet in the sand. We do eliminate them. If we feel they're a danger, just as any other animal, if we feel that that's a danger, we do eliminate them, and we have been. We have ongoing education. This program is ongoing on the, if you will, the, let's call it the police side, meaning that we will track the coyotes that have stolen animals if we have the ability to. We have tracked them. We've tracked them to dens, and we do eliminate them. If we find that the den has, I'm sorry to say, but dog collars and maybe small cat collars in it, we know they're stealing animals. This is a predatory animal. Again, I'm just glad right now, and I'm glad you brought me up here, that I have enough time to retire. So if this is an issue, I can take my full retirement and soak that pension as much as I can. But as I said, when I became the chief of police, I'm going to make this island as safe as I can in every way. And this is one way that we have been doing it for 2 years. I do know that a number of them have been coming closer to homes. They have been stealing animals. We tell everybody, unfortunately, get a fence that's at, the regular basic cyclone height. I'm not sure what that is. Dale, would you know from ordinance? Is that a 4-foot fence?
Probably 4 foot, yeah.
So we'd like to see a 4-foot fence if that's what you can get. They're jumping other fences. We have them witnessed jumping fences, smaller fences, and taking them. And we are stunned. There's only been one, I believe, in the Midwest that a coyote has gone after a child and killed the child. But I'm not going to wait. I don't want to stand up here to say it happened, and I don't mean it this way, but I don't think any of you want to say it's happened. So we have a balance here we're trying to attain. And now that you ask me, I have to be straightforward. I have to tell you exactly what we're doing. Those are the two programs. We will continue the education end. We've put it on cable. We've put it on flyers that Julie, when she goes to these programs with other animals, and because it's mostly with the dogs, and that's the truth. It's mostly with the dogs, so and that's what she's involved with. There's a couple other issues with them that we're dealing with now, but we are actively, and I will tell you this, actively going after any, I'll have to say just coyote because that's the only predator we have, that we feel is a fresh kill on an animal, and we can track it and we can find it, and on the sightings we're going to eliminate it, and that's what we're going to do. So I don't believe, let me just say this before I sit down. It's a predatory animal. It has no predators but us. It came over on the ice in approximately 1987. I was a road officer at the time when we first started sighting coyotes after a heavy winter, a cold winter, where the channel was frozen over. It's the only way they're going to get here. It's the only way. And that's happened. They began to multiply. We didn't have a problem with them in the beginning. We thought we could live hand in hand with them. I don't see it. I mean, I'm not anti-animal at all. There's nothing in me that, and I have no problem with people that hunt. I mean, I'm not even a hunter. I've never been hunting in my life. I love animals. That's not why I'm not a hunter, but I'm not one just to go out there to shoot an animal. But this bothers me that they're getting too close to the homes. And from 87 when it started to now, somebody's got to do something, and that's why we have begun. So that's where we're at. We're not done. We're going to continue it. And if anybody does see, I will say, if anybody sees any coyote in the residential area or near the homes. Now, if you take a ride down at the airport and you see one flying through the airport property, I mean, you can call us. That's lovely. But truthfully, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to just go after something like that.
Why?
Unfortunately, there's rules and laws that we have to go by in the state of Michigan. I'm not going to.
We can shoot deer.
Well, not you.
You can't shoot in the township.
But it's a culling program, and
I can't.
But yeah. But I'm just saying we're trying to do what we can do on that balance of they're here. Can they be here? Well, of course they can be here. But just if somebody dropped off 2 leopards,
there's no place for them in a residential.
All right, we'll let you. I'll let you please wait till the public comment. I know you wanted to speak, so let Chief finish, and then I'll give you the microphone at the end of the meeting.
The problem is it is a predatory animal, and I'm looking at it that way. If they dropped off 2 leopards and they made it, we wouldn't wait. Believe me, we would hunt those down, and unfortunately, we'd have to take them out. This is a little different. We're dealing with laws. We're dealing with statutes. We're dealing with issues like that. But when they become a danger and we feel they're a threat to people, we have been moving on them for the last 2 years.
Joe, do we know what the population is?
When they do a count, I'm sorry, did you have something on that?
The only note I was going to add was on the airport end. We do participate a little bit with the police department on that. The only concern we had, and we do some of our own control on the airport, about 2 years ago, Grand Rapids Airport had a regional jet taking off and hit a coyote, which was one of the first in the country that we've ever heard of. So when we see them on the airport, we do talk to the DNR, and we have been managing them. They do den up in certain areas on the airport, but we've definitely I would say put a small dent in the population on that front.
One of the major issues, Jim, to answer your question, I've asked the gentleman, we do it by helicopter in a grid section count, okay? So we go up there in the DNR MSP helicopter. They have this grid way that they do count deer. And it's a pretty good way. The difference is coyotes usually are down in the day and are out at night. So I asked, can you see? And it's so difficult to see from up there. We try to do it when there's snow on the ground. Yet the coyotes are gray where the deer are more of a reddish, if you will. Obviously, the deer are 3 times the size. So that's why we get more of an accurate count when Dale and I get it done with MSP every year, or DNR, I apologize, every year. So if you're asking me how many do I think we have out here, I know how many we've taken out. And I do know that there's probably 30 or so more, if not more, out here. And it seems they're just like the deer, though. Springtime comes, there's more of them. We do what we got to do. I'm willing to, I mean, if this next board gets in and they want a more aggressive tactic, or they want something, I am trying to do this through the law and the legal aspects that I have with what resources I have, balancing the safety of people. And that's really what it is. Now, I know that when you lose an animal, it's like losing a child to some people. I get that. I honestly, I get that. But the difference is that the 12 on the jury and the judge, they don't give the same jury instructions as they do for a person when you eliminate an animal. So there's laws I have to go by. There's things that we have to do to meet that criteria. It's much different. So, again, I try to run this. Grossville Police Department runs a straight line, and I'm trying to follow that line, yet think of the balance with the people and their animals.
Clearly, you're on a fine line. If a coyote presents a threat, certainly you're going to eliminate it. But they're also protected. I mean, they belong to the state of Michigan. They belong, and they're under the guidance or protection of the Department of Natural Resources.
Correct.
Grossville eliminated hunting within the confines, in the 60s. So we can't organize something like that, an eradication hunt. So, the coyotes live here too, but when they start presenting a threat, we count on our law enforcement to neutralize the threat. The ones who don't present a threat are allowed to live here, along with the deer. That's the fine line that our police officers and our when you give instructions to them, that's the fine line we have to stay on.
That's correct.
So maybe we need to get Julie to put get another presentation together. Maybe there's some new information that we've gleaned since.
The education is the same, and again, it's do everything you possibly can to keep your animals safe in your yard. They are out there. That they are really the only type animal. It's just as if I have it's a large dog, a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler or whatever. You don't want them roaming the neighborhood too because of them attacking other dogs. And plus you want your dog to be protective or your cat to be protected. So what you do is you work within first from your house out. And that would be either, try some type of fenced in area. And unfortunately that this family here, it was a fenced in area. It was a smaller fence, but still they have the right setup for their dog. I mean, I went there and looked at it myself and unfortunately found the animal too, but and it was deceased, and it definitely was a coyote that did it. And so, I mean, they were trying to do what was right. They were. So that's why we try to educate. And I know I'm rambling on, Ted, but I got to give it all because it's.
I just want to turn the light on this issue.
Yeah, the light's been on.
I don't want to have a resident.
But the megaphone hasn't.
Well,
okay.
Whatever. And just for the people here, when Mike said we manage them on the airport, we shoot them when we see them. That's the best we can do. We are trying to stay active with this. I understand the concern, and that's why I brought it up tonight, because if the concern gets out there again and the public becomes aware of it, it'll become more aware to us. we are aware of it.
And if I can just add one thing to you too, and I'm not here to just try to protect Mike, but Mike has different rules that they live by through the federal government on this land here.
You bet.
This land here, believe it or not, a lot of things can be done within this gate and these fences
Right.
that we can't do on the outside of those fences.
Right. I
So
understand.
that's why, and he's correct, everything he said is legal, it's correct, it's what he can do because of the safety of the pilots, and we have had accidents with animals.
Sure.
And we're trying to keep this place animal-free. And
Sorry
that's,
to put you on the spot, Joe.
no, you didn't, I'm glad, but it's just,
I think that this needs to be an
yeah.
issue in the forefront.
And I don't want you to think I haven't done anything. We've tried everything we can with the education. We do everything we can with the issues and the incidents that we investigate.
I know you have, and I wanted you to have the opportunity to present that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Joe, I just, if there's some way we can be more aggressive and still be within the law,
Right.
Because Joe and I live in the same area, and I know one of our neighbors lost a dog this weekend. So
I understand, and I will. I know the laws haven't changed, the issues haven't changed. They're there. We're still going to continue this. We're going to move forward on it. We have moved forward in the last 2 years. Since 2014, we have at the end of the year, October, November. So it's right about 2 years. We actually started this type of program because we've had no choice. We've had no choice. So
Now everybody knows.
well,
That's a good thing.
I'm not sure they're up watching right now, but we're going to do what we can with the education too. So thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Okay, with that, we'll move on to trustee reports, and I'll ask Mr. Budney.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. No ZBA meeting this month. And, of course, we already had our DPS meeting, so that takes care of the business end. I just want to say thank you to Eric and Wally and Lauren for their service for the 4 years. I myself can't believe that our 4 years is up already. But it's been a real pleasure working with them. As Eric said, we didn't always agree, and that's good. I think that's a good thing. That's how you learn. That's how you get different perspectives. But we always manage to respect each other, and that's what's made it nice. And you guys will be missed. So, and the best of luck to you in whatever you do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Budney. I'll wind up with our outgoing board members. Mrs. Smith?
Thank you, Supervisor. Yeah, 4 years. I mean, high school didn't go this fast, or college. Like, what the? Yeah, no kidding. I'll try to make this brief. I'm usually never long-winded, and as my last report as a trustee, I'm going to keep you here all night. I'm just kidding. First, I want to let you know that the Festival Commission will be meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m., and there is 200 days until the next Island Fest event, which will run June 2nd through the 4th. I know that the Commission is really working hard on a lot of new and exciting things for next year, including potentially a new layout. On that note, I do want to extend my thanks to all of the festival commissioners who have served over the last 4 years that I have been the liaison. It truly is a vibrant and energetic commission, hardworking group of people, and they take having fun very seriously. I also want to thank and applaud Chairman Chad Novak. His unwavering dedication to his appointment as chair, as well as his work in making Groseal a better place to live. For fun and entertainment, he truly is the guy. He's probably one of the most creative people I know, one of the most passionate people I know, and I've seen him really grow tremendously over the last few years that I've been working with him on this commission, and I know he's going to continue to make our island shine. Second, I want to thank Ted Fournier of the Communications Department for his enthusiasm and his work on the new website and the new GI Connect app. I know that Ted's desire to bring new forms of communication and social networking to our residents has always been the forefront of his work. I also want to thank all of the Township employees, Some of them I got to know very well, and others not so much. But I want to let you know that I really appreciate all the information and data that you've provided me over the years so that I can make educated decisions in my journey. Third and finally, I want to thank all of my fellow trustees for supporting me during our term. Oh God, don't cry. I can honestly say that it's been a pleasure working with all of you. I know that we haven't seen eye to eye on a lot of issues. I think we were able to work through our differences, and I know we've all mentioned professional, mannerisms. To some, that may have seemed really boring, because I have heard from people in the public saying, you guys are a really boring group, and it's no fun to watch. But to me, I think that's a good thing. It is my hope that the new board continues to forge on with great vision and purpose, all while keeping our bottom line financials top of mind. And lastly, I do want to thank the residents of Groseal for putting their faith in me and electing me to this position. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you.
Wally. Trustee Posiask.
Newsflash, I lost.
Oh.
In the slimmest of margins to a fellow I'd like to call a friend. His name's Jim Nelson. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
I've proudly served these residents for 21 years in various capacities. And so tonight, it's my wish to express my thanks to those on this and on previous boards, those who shared my goal of making Groseal better, building it up. I started on a Natural Resources Committee 21 years ago. I got convinced by a guy by the name of John Neidhart, a dear friend of mine long gone, to get on the Roads Committee, and by then I had been totally infected and in love with community service. And I've always been involved in it since. Nice run. I think it was a nice run. Some things I was very grateful to get. You sound bored, Dale. Some things that I got involved with and was so grateful to be involved with is to be able to provide some of my professional support on environmental issues in the township. I'm very proud of the Horse Mill bike path, which I had a chance to ride from paper to pavement. We did a lot to our bike paths, and especially to our bridges. Thank you to the residents who voted another maintenance millage in for a long-time fix. There will be continued funding to make sure that these assets continue to be the pride of Groseal. I got a kick out of working on the drinking fountain at Grow Road, because with paving stones and donations, didn't cost the township a dime. And look at what we did there. It was a great community pride. The Fit Strip, we had a beat-up looking path down at the school, just up Meridian, and took it with a very passionate Groseal operating open space committee chair, and a young man by the name of Mitch Lewis, who I think is all of 14 years old. All of that passion combined to make a very, very pretty visiting place for the people that love the rural nature of Groseal's open spaces. I've had great pleasure in training our township staff on occasion, building manuals and providing health and safety training to them. I hope that was appreciated. I think it was. I have the greatest admiration for those who I was privileged to work with on these township commissions and committees. They brought the wishes of the people forward, and that commissions and committee members made them into realities. I've served under 3 township supervisors, Doug Jones, Kurt Kobelak, and now Brian Loftus. Thank you for the privilege of working with all of you. Dale, Brandy, Joe Porcerelli, Cliff St. Pierre, Pat Nielsen, the late Barry Sedlock, Brian Pollock, Aaron Himmelspach, Jane Fiegel, Bob Firmstone, Ted Van Oss, Lorinda Beneteau, John Keim, Bill Kostick, Ann Darzniak, and anyone else I had the pleasure to work with but forgot to write down. do what you do and keep building. Make sure Grosse Ile is built up, right? We don't have time for bad news. We make Grosse Ile grow up. Good luck to the new board, and thank you.
Thanks, Wally. Yeah, I'm supposed to do. Dale, do you have any managers' items? We got this published out of sequence.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have a few brief items. I want to update the board and the community. Last week, Treasurer Van Oss, Trustee Budney, myself, the engineering staff, Lorinda, we met with the state of Michigan. We're going through the evaluation process of our sanitary sewer improvement program. So we'll be reporting some of that information to the new board over the next 30 days. And we're in the process of finalizing the removal of water from our sewer system. The other item is for the outgoing board members. First, Wally, Eric, Lauren, thank you. Been a pleasure. But business, housekeeping. Please, keys to administration. And if you do have any personal or any emails that are potentially on a personal electronic device, make sure you email it to your groseile.com account so it is retained in perpetuity through the electronic record system. What's official? Official is related to your work is the township. Obviously, if you have a personal email, hey, I'll meet you for lunch, that type of thing, that's just a transitory type of. So, again, thank you very much, and please be sure that you have the retention information finalized. And if you have questions, contact myself or Sharon when you get a chance. So, nothing else, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riem. Okay, a bunch of odds and ends, stuff coming up and stuff that's just. Well, first, let me revert back to the election results. As Eric said, we had a 79.22% voter participation at Grosse Ile. And while it should be 100%, but 79 compared to a nationwide average of 57.9%, and that's held steady for about the last 4 or 5 elections. What 57.9% of voter participation nationwide means 95 million American voters opted out. So congratulations, Grosse Ile. You do participate. Okay, so coming up, Pet Photos with Santa. That's Thanksgiving weekend, November 26th, 27th, from 10 to 3 at the Rec Building at Centennial Farm. $10 each for a digital photo mounted in a holiday card. And this benefits the Grosse Ile Animal Shelter and Tails. So participating in this does help keep our shelter going. Historical Society. This one's close to home. The Grosse Ile Historical Society Holiday Gift Boutique, which my wife and Sue Zink have been working and Tammy Taylor now, she's back, have been working like pack animals on for the last several weeks. At the Customs House, starting November 25th through December 18th, Thursdays through Sundays, and the Historical Society website will have the hours, evenings. Letters to Santa can be dropped off in the Big Red Box at Macomb Commons, Meridian Macomb, after Island Glow. And before December 20th, 2016, please make sure your child includes name and a complete mailing address. Okay, Island Glow. Friday, December 2nd, 2016. Start at Macomb Commons between 6 to 7 p.m. with entertainment from the Children's Choir, Brass Quintet, and the Grosse Ile High School Marching Band. 7 o'clock, Santa arrives by fire truck, and then we'll start the stroll down Macomb Street. 7:30 p.m. is the tree lighting ceremony in front of Perdino's. Our DDA director is working to make this the most exciting yet. So dinner with Santa will be Monday, December 5th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Centennial Farm Activity Room. Dinner, make a craft, have a special visit with Santa, $12 per person, advance, $15 at the door. Other events, Dine Out for Music, a fundraiser to support music boosters, will also be held on Monday, December 5th. This fundraiser will be held at Buffalo Wild Wings in Southgate. Thanksgiving, Township Hall will be closed November 24th and 25th, reopen again Monday morning, 8 o'clock. Senior Holiday Luncheon, Wednesday, December 14th at 12:30 at the Centennial Farm Activity Center. $10, advance tickets only, so they know how much catering to provide. A couple odds and ends for the last few days. This past Thursday, I was invited to the Kiwanis dinner at the Grosse Ile Middle School. Got a chance to say goodbye to the outgoing president, Barry Jensen, and the new president is Nicole Finney. And I had to take the opportunity to thank Nicole and Barry and the Kiwanis members present. They're the Key Club, which is the high school arm, if you will, of Kiwanis, for their help. And setting up the Grosse Ile Historical Society, the Customs House for the boutique, they moved the furniture out of the rooms up to the attic, the Christmas decorations down from the attic, and helped set up in the Customs House, which means I didn't have to do it and Steve Zink didn't have to do it. So, Key Club, thank you very much. And this past Wednesday, Dale, Lorinda, and I met with DTE Regional Rep Molly Coy, Bill Cloutier, and several DTE engineers. We discussed the recent upgrades to the power distribution, particularly concerning the north end of the island, otherwise known as Circuit 333, stuff I never thought I'd have to know. I'd had numerous reports of power outages in that part of the township. We'd made some improvements there years ago. I thought it was a robust system. I learned a lot more about how we splice lines, about circuit breakers, about cables, what's new and what isn't. But apparently we've got it under control. I haven't had any complaints recently, so thanks to them for getting the job done. We work closely. We do work closely with Molly and DT. She's, again, their regional rep. And we've just got a great rapport going. We may be lucky in that respect because I know other communities have complained. But, again, if you have a problem, call DTE and let me know about it too. And we'll make sure, if we see a trend, if we see a weak area, we'll get them back out here and get them working on it. But yes, it will show up on the advanced metering infrastructure, but they want to call also to get more detailed information. They really are working with us. And this time I'm going to ask Angela to brief us on the first annual. She guarantees me it's going to be annual Ladies' Night at Macomb Street. I've heard nothing but good stuff, but Angela, take it away.
Maybe more than once annual based on the feedback. We had a really great turnout. We had over 125 ladies check in and several that just opted not to check in. At check-in, they received a shopping bag sponsored by the DDA and kind of directions on how to proceed. And we had 14 businesses participate, which meant they agreed to stay open often past hours from 6 to 9 this past Friday night. And they all boasted that they had a great turnout, they had a good time, all the ladies seemed to really enjoy themselves, and we'd like to continue to do more things like that in the future. A lot of the feedback was that there were businesses out there that the ladies didn't even know existed or didn't know what the products were, what they carried. Many of them had never set foot in the hardware, and they went in there pleasantly surprised to find a lot of good items and a lot of other businesses as well. So I think we'll probably target spring to do another one, and in the meantime try and do some other events to bring people down to Macomb Street. Thanks.
So thank you, and get to work on Island Glow. So that concludes my report. At this time, we'll open up to public comment. 3 minutes, any topic. Kim? Yeah. This is picking up where we left off with the chief. But go ahead.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly
So
why I'm here.
introduce yourself and your address, please.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here. So, Mr. Van Oz, thank you for bringing up the coyote situation because I think it's important that we all are having a conversation. My name is Kim Esposito. I live at 7837 Oak River Drive, right across the street from my neighbor Joe. and Joe, this is kind of a hot topic right now. I did a little bit of research today. I've been a little too grief-stricken to do much before today. But as I did some research, I've seen where this has happened, many, many times actually on the island. There's been, several reports. I just saw one in June or July of someone saying that the coyotes were in their driveway because they have learned that he lets his dogs out at a certain time every day and lost a couple of his dogs. So anyway, I don't want you to take any of this negatively, or that what the work that you're doing is not appreciated, because I kind of got the sense that maybe sometimes your job can sort of be compared to that of an NFL referee, and there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like the call that was made, and they're probably not the most popular folks on the field. But anyway, this is my dog, Chewy. Chewy was a resident of Grosse Ile at 7837 Oak River Drive for 3 years. We are new to the island. We come from a beach area in Virginia Beach. We had no idea there was a coyote issue on this island. So I appreciate folks saying they're getting the word out. I came in today, had a conversation with Dale, had a really nice conversation with Dale, and I think Dale and I both came to the agreement that there is a lot more that we could be doing as a community with the board's help to get the word out, notify citizens, educate citizens on Grosse Ile about the issue, what's going on, maybe where sightings are, how many attacks are happening. And then I found out just by going online today, there are tips and things that homeowners can do. These coyotes can smell where your pets go to the restroom, keeping your, dog excrements picked up. Put it away where the coyotes can't smell it. Bring in your garbage. Maybe, we thought we had a raccoon. Well, now we're thinking, well, maybe we had a coyote getting in our trash. Keeping that stuff inside your garage. I mean, these are all things that I never knew you could do. But so I would just say, if there's something that I can do to help, I've spoken to Julie, I've spoken to Dale, I'm willing to participate any way I can to get together, talk with someone, find out what I can do to help communicate. If we have a communications section on the board, any Grosse Ile Facebook pages, social media, whatever. Residents need to be urged to, my neighbor has sent me a picture back in March. She had a coyote just behind her child's swing set. 2 weeks ago, she didn't tell me till Sunday when we found my dog in the woods behind my house that she had 4 coyotes on her patio 2 weeks ago. So people are seeing these. Mine and Joe's neighbor that lives at the end of my street, about 2 months ago, he told me that he saw a coyote as he was sitting on his patio drinking his morning coffee. So from what I've read from a Humane Society website, if these coyotes are brazen enough to jump your fence and come and get your animals, they're no longer afraid of people. So that is the next progression. These are not wild coyotes. These coyotes now have been urbanized. And they pose a health and safety issue to not only the pets, but to the residents of this wonderful island that we all pay a lot of taxes to live on and love to be here. And we have a lot of walking paths and biking paths and a lot of residents out with their animals. I would hate for us to be standing in front of you at some point in time, and there are reports, not on Grosse Ile, coyotes will attack small children, and it has happened. So anything that you guys can do to help support, I'm all for anything aggressive that we can do. I came and spoke to Dale today. He had pulled out the, the laws for the island for me, and if I'm if I've got my license to carry a gun and that coyote comes back on my property, I'm allowed to shoot it if I think that it poses a threat to me or my family. So I think residents just need to know what their rights are and what they should be doing as well when we communicate out what the issues are.
And I'll leave the use of firearms to advice of the chief, but yeah, just what Joe wanted to hear. But sorry for your loss. But we're trying to we're on that fine line. We've outlawed hunting on the island decades ago. The DNR, the state of Michigan, the animals, the wildlife belongs to the state of Michigan, so it's very difficult for us to say, yeah, we're going to eradicate them or start a massive control program without the DNR okay.
So how do we get support from them and support at the state level?
Pardon?
How do we get the support from the state level to, just like we're allowed to kill so many deer, how do we get that level of support?
I'll start with some phone calls. I mean, as you now know, what used to be a I don't want to say a concealed, but a very low advertised program to keep their numbers under control, and now it's public knowledge. That was our program, and we knew the ones that we were taking out were ones that had demonstrated being way too comfortable around people. Coyotes, you get up in northern Michigan, you'll never see a coyote during the day.
Again, Brian, from what I'm reading and from what I can tell, these are not the same coyotes that are in northern
and
Michigan.
I agree.
These are urbanized.
They've become urbanized, like the deer here. You got to walk.
I
up
had
to
a
them, kick
buck
them
laying underneath my tree today, right by my fence. That's never happened in 3 years. I wondered if he was paying homage to my little brown Shih Tzu, who's not barking at him anymore.
Could be. So we'll have to look into a more aggressive program then, and we'll. Again, we have to work within the auspices of the Department of Natural Resources. But as you said, if you feel threatened, you're responsible for whatever you do. If you cause damage or injury downrange, you're going to have trouble explaining that. But you have to do what you have to do.
So what can we do to make sure this stays on the board's agenda? And that the conversation is going to keep, because I don't want this to then lapse. You know, when I spoke to Julie, there were 4 dogs attacked this week, within the last 2 weeks. 10 days, 4 dogs. It could be a child next.
It is getting, because those reports, it happened, I don't want to say rarely, but now it's becoming far too often. So, well.
We don't know about the people that haven't been reporting. I mean, my neighbor that has had the coyotes at her yard, she's never reported it to anybody.
Well, we're going to have to, Chief?
Thanks, Joe.
That's all right. Frustration, believe me, their frustration. It's like losing a child. I get that. As for to make sure this is ongoing, it has been ongoing. It will be ongoing. It will continue to be ongoing. I will make some phone calls this week also, just to see if there's anything I'm missing. I met with Julie already about her programs haven't slowed down. I'm sorry that you guys maybe didn't get part of that education somehow. And I don't want to say it was nice when the old camera's here that we actually had a newspaper, and really a lot of things went in that newspaper that people saw that they're not seeing in other ways. I know there's social media, but we're bombarded with social media. How many different social media sites and things, if you will, are there out there? There's all kinds. So are you on all of them? I don't know, but we're trying what we can do to get the word out, get the education out, even with the groups. Julie working with the groups, and that will continue, I promise you, because this isn't over. It's not like we're forgetting about this.
Joe, I reported on Sunday to you spotted what we believe to be a den.
No.
If it is a den?
No, we have not gone out there yet. Julie and I talked about that this morning. We also we had a meeting with another gentleman at 8 o'clock this morning, as a matter of fact, and we talked about this. We're going to walk through and see, but just because, and I'm going to tell you straight, because there's a den doesn't mean we can just go out and plow them all out or shoot them all up. I mean, there's certain things that there just has to be that criteria, and I get it. And I know why you're frustrated. I mean, you lost an animal, and
I expect Chief Porcelli to operate within the guidelines of the laws of the state of Michigan. And right now, he's not authorized for wholesale
I can't
eradication.
just walk out there and do that. But we will see what it is. We'll see if I got to believe that's probably the closer ones that have done this.
And just so you know, not to interrupt Joe.
No, go ahead.
I just think this is a really good conversation that we're having here. Just so that you guys know, the spot where I found my dog backed up to, what's the name of that road? Stout.
Backyard
and about
Stout.
20 feet out from where someone had their pit, my husband was in those woods at night as soon as my dog was taken. There were people sitting at their fire pit chatting, having drinks, just having a nice evening, 20 feet away from where the coyotes were devouring my dog. It's very dangerous. You have people, you have a fire pit, these coyotes were still there. What if someone had their pet?
I can't debate it with you. We have to operate under the constraints.
Right. I'm just letting you know the proximity of how close they're coming to our properties.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Still on coyote, so
Okay.
I'm going to get mine in too because
Sure.
I came just to do it today. Okay, my name is Cheryl Yoakum. Okay, this is Rocco. Okay, a 14-year-old schnauzer whose life was ended last Wednesday night when a coyote jumped our fence and killed him. He was deaf. Okay, poor guy didn't even hear him come. Okay, so it's just sad. And anything you could do, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yako. Public comment, please.
That we could do some sort of trap and release program.
Let me introduce yourself and address, please.
I'm Sharon Emmett. I live on O'Donnell, so I'm in vicinity of where these two attacks happened. And I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And we back up to the woods. So my concern is my kids are outside playing. They mentioned putting up a fence. I would have to check with the city if it's allowed for me to put up like a 6-foot fence or however far, because I don't know that I'm even allowed to do that. But I've also heard that the animals are taking these dogs right over the fence. I have a French bulldog, so I have concerns with that. I did not know to pick up the excrements. I've learned a lot just being here today from her. So as far as like the program, I'm nervous. And getting the information out to the city, the people of the city, how are you getting that information out? Because I don't know that information, and I live here. So I guess it's a trap and release program to get them out of here or something, because we don't need a situation like what happened at Disney with Lane Graves. I mean, it's going to take one. Why didn't we do something? And we all knew about this problem. So I think it's something that we have to, I know you're trying, but I have kids.
Yeah.
I have a dog. I don't want to be here next week and be where they're at. So I'm just really would like for us to keep this on the board. And even if it means going to the state and asking for a variance to get these animals out of here. They shouldn't be coming on our porches.
They're predators.
And I get that you can't just shoot them, but when you say you're bringing them over to the airport, whenever they're on the airport grounds, are they automatically being eliminated when they're over there or no?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean by when we bring them to the airport.
Like if you said earlier, there was a statement made that when they're over there, it's okay, and then it was kind of said after that, if they're there, they're taken out.
No, what we're saying is there's different rules. If something is found within this airport property, it can be eliminated under the FAA rules because it's a danger to all of the pilots and airplanes. So yes, if you're asking, do we have a separate system for the airport? Yes.
And I understand that can't go everywhere else. We can't have guns blazing.
It's separate here, yes. It's a totally separate system that we have going on, and it is 24 hours a day. It is 365 days a year.
Just to clarify, we don't have carte blanche. We have a permit system for one permit system for the airport and another permit system for the rest of the island.
That's correct.
So it's still a controlled event.
I just wanted to make sure I was answering what you were
I just feel like they're controlling more of the deer population than they are the coyote population, and I don't really know that. I'm just stating that that's what I hear. And I just think that our coyotes should be our number one concern. Like I said.
With the deer, yes, the count was over 400. With the coyotes, there's probably approximately 30. So not that helps any.
And I don't know how fast they breed. I haven't.
They do. They're like anything else.
Looked into it, but yes. And when I bought my house originally 2 years ago, when I moved back to the island, because I grew up here, when I moved back here, I was finding rabbit carcasses, and I didn't know why, under my bushes. And now I know why. And like I said, I back up to the woods, so I know they're in there. And I won't let my children, I don't want to be a crazy parent, but I'm not going to just let them run freely, because if they get them, I'm not going to be able to catch them with my child.
And if I can just add to this, I'm not
and I know it's rare
trying
that they
to
go after children.
It can happen. Anything can happen. And I don't want to be the one up here, of course, to stand up here and say we didn't do something. A couple years ago, I did make those phone calls when the other cities also were having problems. They wanted, if you will, call it a culling, call it a hunt. And the state and the DNR said absolutely not. You're going against state law. You're going against rules that we have because as Brian said, they are somewhat of a protected animal. But anything
We're trapped on an island.
Oh, I get it. I get
And
it.
this
That's
is
why I
like-
do what I do, and I
We
am
have
continuing.
yeah, and that's the thing.
I mean, I don't
Canton's
want you
having
to
a problem
think
with this right now,
every-
and they've had dogs attacked.
Trenton, Brownstown, Woodhaven
yeah.
has.
Yeah, but I feel like with us, there's
Yeah.
nowhere to go. You know, this is our
Right.
Just a
place of
question,
life.
Joe. Is there any
Thank you.
type of committee where collaborate at all with these cities? And done when you have a lot of collaboration, that's when you get some very
Yeah. We have that at the Downriver Community Conference, and we've got our next meeting December 1st. I'll get that on the agenda.
I have met with the police chiefs in the other cities.
Yep.
And I will tell you this, their attitude in the other cities are more of we must live with them and teach you how to live with them. I'll tell you that right now.
Are they going to feed off of our deer population, though, where they just...
I'm not.
I know.
Chief, what do you, let me interrupt for a second. We might need to hold an open house and invite educational and get community feedback as to, do we want to take this to the DNR to see what level of groundswell support? Again, we can kick it around here all evening. If I can get an open house, invite the DNR to come,
Fine,
let them hear our concerns.
I've personally gone to them on it, and
But let them hear, from the
that may be helpful
the
to them to
victims.
hear it. I mean, that would be.
Yeah.
And maybe they could, because they're the ones that are going to be the controlling authority. So let's look at making that happen soon.
Brian, you know, but unless you can communicate somehow effectively to all the residents on Grosse Ile, you gotta add that it might be something that you want to understand. I think our situation on the island,
I just think it's been so prevalent in the last week. I mean, you figure our dog was Wednesday, her dog was Friday, and I know 2 were attacked.
Well, I'll just put out my warning. As food to scavenge to hunt becomes rarer and rarer as we get deeper into the winter, the cats and the small dogs, cats are harder to catch because they can climb things. The small dogs become an easier and easier target. So if you're letting your dog out at night to relieve itself, go out with it with a big flashlight and a stick.
2 of those attacks were in broad daylight.
exactly.
Yeah, and now that if the attacks in daylight is not normal behavior, coyotes are normally nocturnal hunters. So let's, Chief, we'll get together, we'll get with Julie, invite the DNR and set up an open house for this sometime so that DNR won't hear the complaints from me or from you, but they'll hear it from the people paying their salaries. Okay?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? What's good is the Grosse Ile Connect. We have 1,900. Do you guys have that app?
I don't know if you can see that or not. But that's the
Because
coyote
we've
by the
been
swing
pushing
set in
things
broad
on that. I think
daylight.
there's up to 900 on Grosse Ile already with that app. We push out the meeting on that. With,
On Facebook, we'll
put
get
it on cable. Put it on. Oh, right. But I was explaining what we have. She's asking how do you get the information out? That's all I was doing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll certainly start there.
Well, yeah. That's.
Again, Joe's tried it already.
I was just explaining how to get the information. She was asking how do we tell everybody.
Let's all right.
That's all.
Let's move. We'll contact the DNR first. See if we can relay the severity of the situation as a first step. But I want them to know that this is a concern to a lot of people, and we'll see. They might have a solution we hadn't considered. So thank you for the information. Other public comment?
I just wanted to say quick, and Joe, of course, is answering, and so is my wife. My name is Mike Esposito. I live at 7837 Oak River. Unfortunate victim to losing a family member this week. Our biggest concern was just to bring awareness. We're new. We're relatively new to the island, just a few years, but we didn't know that there was a problem here. We don't go out to watch the local television channel, Channel 12, I guess it is. That's not something that we normally do. There's no media for us to really get that information, and being new to the island, we don't really have, let's say, a group of friends or anything like that to communicate things with. So we were really unaware of what was going on, didn't know the severity of things. So that was our whole point of coming out tonight, was to bring awareness. And it's not only because we lost an animal, we just want it to, if it gets worse, to where, and people have said it tonight, to where we don't want to start losing, people over this. So, and I understand the fine line between the legality of everything. However, I just want to iterate that being reactive, I don't agree with. I feel that you need to be more proactive on certain things, especially something like this when you're dealing with predators and you can't determine what it is that they're no longer following their normal trends and so forth. So I'm just asking if there's a way that we can become proactive. And I think we've got that discussion tonight. I just wanted to make it clear that we were just coming out for awareness tonight and making sure that, more people get involved in this and know what's actually happening over here. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Esposito. Okay, Mr. Clark.
Woody Clark, Park Lane, legal fees.
Legal fees on the warrant list dated 11/10/2016 to the O'Reilly Rencinio in the amount of $490, and to Pepper Hamilton in the amount of $1,089.
Thank you. Van Horn Road on the other side, there's a bump there. I've called Wayne County. They won't do anything. They won't throw the asphalt in. It's got to be dug up and rolled over. So need help from you people.
Whereabouts in Van Horn?
You'll find it. Just past right there where Ace, just before AutoZone, left lane.
Okay, so you're across from Trafford Square on west
just
of
there,
Ford Street.
left lane.
Okay.
You're running at 35 or 45 miles an hour, you'll find it. So anyway, they won't. I've talked to Wayne County. They won't just throw asphalt because they say it's not going to do any good. It's just going to bounce out. So it's got to be dug up and done. Now we're late in the season, I know, but it's got to be done, because West Road's going to be removed next year and put back new, I heard.
That would be in Trenton.
I know that, but
but I'll contact Mayor Stack and see how she's. I can't usurp her position, but if she needs our support in getting movement on it, she'll have it.
And maybe you can get a hold of Joe Palomero and let him earn some of his money that he's getting. Did you talk to him? Tell me later.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Other public comment? Okay, with none offered, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, Trustee Budney, Trustee Smith, those in favor of adjourning, I'll call it at 9:07. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are so adjourned. Again, Eric, Lauren, and Wally, it's been a pleasure working with you.